Welcome to the deep dive. We're skipping the endless scroll today.
Yeah, instead we've gathered some pretty significant developing stories from across the globe for you.
Exactly. We're talking international politics, some big moves in business and tech, and, well, some really thought-provoking social stuff, too.
We're aiming to just unpack what you need to know, give you the context, maybe some surprising bits, without being overwhelming.
Think of it as your quick route to understanding the bigger picture.
So let's dive right in.
Okay, first up, international tensions. There was that missile strike near Tel Aviv's airport. You might have seen footage, black smoke near the runways.
Mm-hmm. And the impact was pretty immediate, wasn't it? Like Air India, for instance, had to divert a flight.
Yeah, and they suspended their Tel Aviv route, at least temporarily. Shows you the instant effect.
Absolutely. And following that, you had the Israeli prime minister vowing action against the Houthi group, who they believe were responsible.
It just highlights how quickly things can escalate and how fragile stability can be.
And that has knock-on effects. It connects to other regional issues, too.
Like in India, right? There was that statement from Priyanka Gandhi.
Yes, saying Congress would back the government on any action related to that Pahalgam attack.
It shows how these events resonate, even potentially influencing responses across borders.
Definitely. And officials are apparently looking into whether that Pahalgam attack was maybe timed deliberately for the PM's visit.
So a lot going on there. And India is putting pressure on Pakistan, too.
Seems like it. Reports mention things like trade, water access, airspace restrictions.
And then those arrests, Pakistani spies.
Two individuals, yeah, accused of leaking sensitive info about Army and air base locations. So the underlying security situation is clearly quite active.
Okay, let's shift continents. Big news out of Australia, politically.
Oh, yeah, a major election defeat for the opposition party there.
Significant defeat is putting it mildly, maybe. Peter Dutton lost his own seat.
That's right. Which is, quite something for a party leader. So it was a landslide for Anthony Albanese.
A clear mandate, then. That signals a potential real shift in direction for Australia, both domestically and, well, internationally, too, presumably.
It'll be interesting to watch how that unfolds.
Okay. Moving over to the world of business. Huge news from Berkshire Hathaway.
The Warren Buffett news. At 94, he's stepping down as CEO.
An absolute legend in investing. It feels like the end of an era, doesn't it?
It really does. He announced it at the annual meeting. Greg Abel, the vice chairman, is set to take over.
That's a transition everyone in the financial world will be watching very, very closely. Buffett's approach has just defined value investing for so long.
Absolutely. Now, something a bit different, but still involving a big name, Elon Musk.
Yes, Starbase in Texas. It's becoming a city.
Apparently so. Residents voted just this past Saturday to incorporate that area as a new municipality.
Wow. So from rocket facility to actual town.
It's kind of a fascinating example of how these big tech projects can literally change the map, change local governance.
It shows the scale of ambition there, building a whole community around space exploration.
Definitely. And sticking with tech for a moment, there was an interesting report from EY about AI's potential impact in India.
Oh, yeah. What are they predicting?
Specifically for the media and entertainment sector. They're forecasting potentially a 10% boost in revenue.
Okay, significant.
And maybe a 15% reduction in costs, all thanks to AI.
That really highlights how AI is expected to, well, transform basically everything. You can imagine AI content tools, better ad targeting.
Exactly. More personalized experiences for users, leading to more money coming in and more efficient ways of working.
Right. Okay, let's pivot to some social and cultural developments. Remember that Cambridge scholar?
The one researching the politics of smell?
That's the one. Faced a bit of backlash initially, but they've now graduated.
It's interesting, isn't it, how academic research can sometimes seem, well, unconventional.
For sure.
But it probably delves into really fascinating things like how smell links to social status, culture, maybe even power dynamics.
Makes you realize our senses shape our world in ways we don't always think about.
On a very different note, a more historical one, France marked the 80th anniversary of the Nazi surrender.
A powerful moment. Hearing from World War II survivors reflecting on their experiences.
Yeah, those anniversaries are so vital. They remind us of the human impact of history.
And the importance of remembering, of learning from those firsthand accounts, the cost of conflict.
Precisely. Now, switching tracks again, there was a bit of a strange report from the U.S., a politician objecting to a halal restaurant.
Yes, and comparing it to the what was it, the Muslim conquest of Jerusalem in the 7th century?
Yeah, quite the comparison. It's notable for maybe its historical inaccuracy.
And the potential to stir up division, perhaps,
Yeah.
using history in that way.
It really underscores the need for, accurate understanding and respectful conversation in diverse places.
Definitely. Closer to current events, unfortunately, there was that incident on an Indigo flight.
The drunk passenger allegedly assaulting an air hostess. Yes, quite disturbing.
It raises serious questions about passenger behavior, safety on flights.
It really does. It highlights the challenges flight crews face, doesn't it? Ensuring safety and respect for everyone needs a look at accountability.
Yeah. And then internationally, some concerning security news from Brazil.
Authorities there apparently thwarted a potential bomb attack targeted at a Lady Gaga concert.
That's the report, yes. And linked to a group promoting hate speech and radicalization.
It's worrying how public events can become targets for extremist groups. Good work by the police there, but it shows the threat is real.
And the role of online radicalization in spreading these ideologies.
We also saw election issues resurfacing in Romania.
A rerun of an election. Why was that?
Pretty serious allegations, campaign fraud, and also potential Russian interference.
Wow. That points to ongoing vulnerabilities in democratic processes, doesn't it? Both internal fraud and external meddling.
Absolutely. Having to rerun an election because of those kinds of claims really highlights how crucial electoral integrity is, protecting democracy.
Then shifting to Africa, some worrying news from Sudan.
Yes. The first reported strike by paramilitary forces reaching Port Sudan.
Which is essentially the acting capital now for the army-led government.
Exactly. So it suggests a possible escalation or widening of the conflict there.
And Port Sudan is a key port, isn't it? Humanitarian implications.
Huge implications. You could destabilize things further, impact aid getting in, civilian safety. Very concerning.
And tragically, also in that region, South Sudan, Doctors Without Borders reported casualties from a bombing.
Yes, several people killed, apparently, in attacks on a hospital and a market.
Just devastating. A stark reminder of the impact of conflict on ordinary people, on essential services like hospitals.
Absolutely. Targeting a hospital is a particularly awful violation of, international humanitarian law. It shows the immense challenges aid workers face.
So as we've gone through all these different stories, it's quite a range, isn't it?
It really is, from missile strikes affecting flights to tech giants literally building towns.
To scholars studying smell, political epithets, historical commemorations, and these terrible conflicts.
What stands out, I think, is the interconnectedness, how something happening in one place can ripple outwards.
Yeah, like the Tel Aviv strike impacting Air India or global tech trends affecting Indian industries. It's all linked.
And sometimes in unexpected ways, like you put the politics of smell research next to Starbase becoming a city.
Yeah.
It just shows the sheer variety of what's happening.
It definitely keeps you on your toes, trying to keep up with the pace of it all. Makes you wonder what today's small news item might be tomorrow's big headline.
That's a really good point. Understanding these currents, even the seemingly minor ones, helps you make sense of where things might be heading.
So, quite the deep dive today. We've touched on geopolitics, business leadership shifts, tech leaps, social issues, conflicts, a real global snapshot.
And hopefully it gives you a framework for thinking about how these events, even if they seem distant, might connect back to the world around you.
Staying informed isn't just about the headlines, is it? It's about seeing those connections.
Exactly. This was just a starting point, of course. If any of these stories caught your interest, we definitely encourage you to dig deeper.
Explore them further.
Because ultimately having that informed perspective is, well, it's your best tool for navigating this pretty complex world we're in.
For the deep dive, thank you for joining us.